We're really honored to have with us on Exclusive with Taghreed Hussein more than one example of Egyptians who really excelled abroad and represented Egypt in more than one international forum. Among them, an Egyptian teacher who turned into an educational icon himself in Japan in the field of education. Since President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi took office, Egypt's foreign policy has been based on activating the soft power of Egypt to achieve the highest interest of the country and benefit from the Egyptian expat scientists in the education developmental process. Egypt can, with education conference, had called for benefiting from the Egyptian expertise and the scientists abroad in the evaluation of the educational institutions, applied curricula, and also teaching methods. Our upcoming guest on Skype is Dr. Hussein Zanaty, who is considered to be one of the most influential Egyptian expats in Japan. And he's an independent Egyptian teacher who has become an educational icon in Japan. Currently, Dr. Zanaty supervises almost 14 schools through teaching and training, and also through researching in education development. Zanaty obtained his master's in Arts of Education from Heidelberg University in the United States, and he got his PhD in Manufacturing System Engineering, Computer Science, and also Technology in Education from Kitami Institute of Technology. Dr. Zanaty is a very bright face of Egypt, and we are really honored to have with us Dr. Hussein Zanaty, education expert in Japan, here on Nile TV International. Dr. Zanaty, thank you so much for joining Exclusive with Taghreed Hussein. You're always a bright face and a role model. Tell us more about the start of the story, Dr. Zanaty, for our viewers to share with you those successful moments. Tell me more.
First of all, I'd like to thank you, Dr. Taghreed, for this wonderful invitation. And I would like also to start my talk by sending my sincere congratulations for all Egyptians for the celebration of the ancient Egypt New Year. It was in September 11, celebrating the 6,262 the beginning of the creation, or the creation of the the first Egyptian calendar in the world. And also, I'd like to send my sincere congratulations to all the Egyptian government for the opening ceremony for the Egypt-Japan Technology University. Yes. In Burj Al Arab, and also the other private university that our president Abdel Fattah al-Sisi was honored to open this activity in Egypt. And as you just mentioned to me now, that you'd like me to talk about my first step in Japan, or how I could manage to
from teacher to educational icon, yes.
Get over all the difficulties and the limitation in Japan here. First of all, when I came to Japan, I was really curious about knowing the background or the power of the Japanese society. And it was mainly very clear to me that the education is the main resource of the power of the Japanese society. So I decided to work hard in learning a lot of skills, and also develop my personal career, like getting my master in education, and also try to challenge more for getting the PhD until I reached and received or awarded by the best researcher at my university in the PhD degree.
Yes, we're really honored and proud of your efforts, Dr. Zanaty, especially that we do have like the Zanaty style now in Japan. And this reflects how it is impressive. I mean, how you did manage to leave an impact on the Japanese and also on your students in schools. You've mentioned Burj Al Arab and the Egyptian Japanese University that His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi had inaugurated recently, and this is going to open definitely new horizons of cooperation in the educational field between Egypt and Japan. What could be the fruits, in your opinion, of having an Egyptian-Japanese university in our beloved country?
I would say that with the distinguished effort of His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, based on his visit to Japan in 2016, and then he signed an agreement with the Japanese government to work on the education and also to support the development of the youth in Egypt, as they are the important component in our community, and also support them for the sustainable development. So he had a clear idea about how can we get closer to the development of the society like Japanese society. And since that agreement, I could see a lot of improvement in our society in Egypt now in education, such as the education field of the early education for the early childhood, and also basic education, technical and higher education, as well as scientific research, technology, and innovation. So I think these all very, very unique aspects to translate or illustrate the Egyptian government vision of the 2030, and also is the distinguished effort of the Egyptian government and His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi to care about developing the Egyptian community, not only for their current situation, but he's really looking for the future, about like how can the youth can be the future leader in Egypt, and also try to improve their skills and capacity in order to have the stable future for our coming generation.
Definitely. Well, you have your own style. You try to make education for kids quite interesting, quite attractive.
Yeah.
So talking about your way of teaching and like learn, play, and share has been a Zanaty style that has been very appealing with the kids teaching English to the Japanese. Tell me more about how to make our education interesting and catchy, how to make the kids react positively with what we tell them and with our directives, and also with our style of education.
Yeah, my style, or
yes, your style, the learn, play, and share style.
Okay, I think we need we need to work for 5 C's, which are the creativity and also the critical thinking. We have also the collaboration and the leadership. We have also the communication, and we need to work also about the challenge, how to provide an environment for the students to think by themselves and do the self-development and try to discover the information, not just to memorize the information. I think there are a lot of how can I say, there are a lot of efforts already on the ground from the Minister of Education and also the Minister of Higher Education, that they are trying to reform the educational technology in Egypt, and also provide the way that the kids can really be creative in the future. So I think if we can work, like not only the government, I think the people, also Egyptian people, should cooperate with the government, so that we can work together as a teamwork, and also appreciate the effort, the hard work, or all the efforts that are taking now on the ground for the sake of the children, Egyptian children. It's not just only to do experiment for the new technology. It's we are trying now to work together to implement a new style of education that could take Egypt to a new area. That will be, of course, in the future, is the future of the youth, future of the children, and also it's based on the development of our community.
Yes, Dr. Zanaty, during COVID-19, that has been quite challenging. We worked on remote learning, which also took place in Egypt in an integrated way, and we're continuing. And the professors and the students interacted. If I would ask you about remote learning and in Japan, how is the story? And how about the future of remote learning, in your opinion?
Yeah, I think the Minister of Higher Education and also the Minister of Education in Egypt now, they are taking this the way to implement a lot of remote learning with cooperation with some Egyptian expertise in abroad. And this is really very interesting or unique steps that they could help to implement a new way or a new style of developing the education in Egypt, because the almost the world around us really started to implement the new innovation and also the new style of the technology. So in order to cooperate, in order to be very close to the market, or very close to the international or the global development or innovation, we need also in Egypt to implement or try to work on the remote learning, or doing a lot of activity based on the technology. And I think the opening of the Japan-Egypt University Technology and Scientific Technology, it's a big, it's like the big step to learn a lot from the Japanese society, because I think they have a lot of programs which is really very unique for Egyptian youth and also students. Not only just to know about the culture of Japan, but also to learn how to implement and how to create the new innovation in our society.
Yes, tell me more about the love of Egypt, and you've managed to let the Japanese interact through the songs that you deliver on, and through also this sense of bond with the homeland. While attending Egypt Can conference, definitely you've shared in introducing and benefiting from the different, your educational background and also the Japanese experience. Tell us more about how it is quite inspirational, and how about Egypt in the eyes of the Japanese. How is this story of success continuing?
The image of Egypt recently, I think, already increased now and became clear to a lot of Japanese people since our the new life, or the new generation that's working now very hard, like the government also and the Egyptian people. If you look around us, around other countries, surrounded Egypt, there are a lot of conflict, a lot of problems, but still our society is staying strong. And also recently, His Excellency President Sisi is working hard on opening new projects and also developing the community and working on the human resource. So I think the image of Egypt now is getting better and better, and also has a unique like prestige, and also it's like the giving the safeness for the people to come to Egypt and try to work with Egyptian like markets and stuff. But of course, after the COVID-19 gets settled down, but I think now we also need to work more harder on how to maintain the effort, the hard effort of the government now, and also cooperate together with the government to maintain our like style, Egyptian style, and also our development of the country.
Definitely. Dr. Hussein, if you would tell me more about how do you feel as an Egyptian ambassador in Japan, because you know Egyptian expats are usually ambassadors for the country abroad. They are the ones who are representing Egypt, and tell me more about that, about your experience, and how can Egyptian expats today become ambassadors for their own country and help foster the great image of our beloved Egypt.
Yeah, beside the big effort of the diplomatic staff here in the embassy, of course, they do a lot of activity, like cross-cultural activity. But beside that, I think we are, as Egyptian here, we are the first people to meet in the street or maybe in the work or in the company or in the university. So we are very closer than the diplomatic staff. In this case, we carry a lot of responsibility to try to give the good impression about the Egyptian society, about the Egyptian as an Egyptian human being, and also try to give a lot of information and also help the Japanese people to understand more about maybe the culture information, or about the society, or about how the Egyptian could get over of any problems like the COVID-19 or any about the new inventions or it's taking on the ground now. So I think as myself, as Egyptian, living here in Japan for more than 20 years, I feel that I have a big responsibility to be a just ambassador, and then also try to provide a lot of activities, such as holding a lot of exhibitions in Japan here about the culture of Egypt and also about the Upper Egypt, Minya, my hometown. And this was very appreciated by the Japanese society because the things that I present is not, they cannot find it in the textbook. And also, it's things that they cannot reach it. And not much people can travel now to Egypt, and not much people from Egypt can come to Japan. So it gives me the responsibility to be the bridge between both culture, the Egyptian culture and Japanese culture.
I thank you so much, our bright face of Egypt, Dr. Hussein Zanaty, educational expert from Japan, talking to us from Japan exclusively for Nile TV International. We're really proud of your efforts. A great ambassador for our country abroad. Thank you so much, Dr. Zanaty.
Thank you so much. And I would like to end my talk I'm working now with a very distinguished association here in Japan called the Thank You Gaksha. And then we are working now to provide creating a lot of activities that will match the new innovation in Egypt. And we will present it to the Minister of Education very soon.
That's great news, and I'm really happy that you had declared this great news on exclusive with Taghreed Hussein. Thank you so much, Dr. Zanaty, for all the effort and for being that bright face, a great ambassador for Egypt in Japan. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Thank you so much.
Well, that was Dr. Hussein Zanaty, our educational expert in Japan, one of our icons in Japan, and who has managed to leave an impact through the Zanaty style, and through teaching English to the Japanese kids his way, and through leaving a legacy and an impact. It's very important to leave an impact and to represent our country, our beloved Egypt, with pride.